Monday Night Raw starts off with Gunther. Starts off with him cutting the promo, basically mentioning the match he had last week with AJ Styles, mentioning that he out, basically mentioning picking up the victory over AJ Styles. He officially declares for the Royal Rumble. Then you end up getting interrupted. Then he ends up getting interrupted by AJ Styles. AJ ends up mentioning that he wants another rematch, wants it at the Royal Rumble. Ends up saying that he had Gunther beat. He made Gunther tap out. And Gunther is afraid of giving him another shot. Gunther was originally going to refuse to give him another shot because he said there was no incentive, but then he ends up making an ultimatum, ends up giving us an incentive for himself, ends up saying that he will face AJ if he's willing to put his career on the line at the Royal Rumble. I actually like this. I know some people think it's a bit soon that we're doing this, but I actually like this idea because AJ Styles did debut at the Royal Rumble, so him retiring at the Royal Rumble makes perfect sense to me. Now, I know some people want more of a build, but to me, I think this actually makes more sense instead of having a huge build. We just did this with John Cena, him having the full year. I get people wanted some time to come to realization, but we already known for a while now that AJ Styles was going to retire soon. So if he retires in January, in January at the Royal Rumble, I don't mind it. Plus, I think it makes more sense of AJ having to be forced to retire sooner than he wanted to. Plus, I think they could go another angle because when he made his TNA return, he did tease potentially going after the TNA World Championship. So they could potentially do a storyline where he retires in WWE, but he goes back to TNA and have a final run there. Now, I did say it was very unlikely that happens, but there is a world where that actually does work because he could retire in WWE, but he could also retire at the place that really started off from that where he really made a name for himself in TNA. He could really retire there, and I honestly think that would be more poetic for him to retire in TNA, to be honest, because that's where majority of us fell in love with AJ to begin with. Well, most fans fell in love with AJ to begin with, is in TNA. So I actually like this. Now there is a scenario where AJ could potentially beat Gunther. My only problem is why? Like that just wouldn't make sense, and that would kind of ruin Gunther. I wouldn't say it ruins his character, but it kind of ruins. It will ruin the allure that you're trying to give Gunther as like this top heel, in my opinion, to have AJ win. The only way I can see if AJ wins is if they heavily protect Gunther. Like they need to. It would have to be something where it's not even Gunther's fault that he lost. It would have to be like a count out win or something like that. But that would just be very anticlimactic if I'm being honest. So nonetheless, I'm very interested to see how this plays out because I think it could go either way. Because it wouldn't shock me if WWE actually have AJ win because we don't even know when AJ contract is up. It could be up at the Royal Rumble. It could be up in April. We honestly don't know when he's retiring. So this can really play out either way, and I'm very excited for this. We end up getting a women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupri. This was a solid match. A lot of people are hating on this match. Me personally, this match was not bad. It was a solid match. I get the Maxine Dupri criticisms. I do. I get it because this was one of my concerns with her was her in-ring ability. She still needs work. She still needs some time. Now, I don't know how much more time she needs because it gets to a certain point where sometimes you're just not good in the ring. Sometimes, it's not a matter of how much time you need. Sometimes people are just not good in the ring. Sometimes it's just that simple. But I still think she made drastic improvements. I think that give her another year, a year and a half, she'll be fine. Towards Unity and Natalya, she ends up making her return. This is when I knew exactly what was going to happen, but I'm not mad at it. Towards the end of the match, Maxine goes for a pin. Natalya ends up putting Becky Lynch foot on the ropes. This allowed Becky Lynch to take advantage, hit her with the manhandle slam, and picks up the victory. I enjoyed this. This gives something Maxine to do. I was wondering what they was going to do with Maxine because I did feel like Becky Lynch was going to retain because there was no reason to give Becky Lynch the title back if you ain't going to have her retain this match as well. So I'm like, it only makes sense for her to lose. This gives something Maxine to do until WrestleMania. Do they make it on the Mania card? I don't know. But I'm assuming what's going to happen moving forward is this is going to give Becky Lynch the title match between her and AJ Lee. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing that it feels like they're really just stalling until they build up with AJ Lee again whenever she returns. So we'll see how that all unfolds. But nonetheless, the match was a solid match. Now, it was that one botch where Maxine completely missed this kick. It looked bad, but nonetheless, Maxine was not horrible. This match, I think, it's a bit overblown, but I do think it was the correct decision to have Becky Lynch retain here, have her feud with Natalya. We'll potentially see Natalya bring over her other gimmick that she's been using in the Indies and AAA, but I'm not really confident WWE is going to do that. I think they're just going to have a heel Natalya. I don't think they're going to bring Natty Neidhart. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're just going to have Natalya, just her as a heel. I really think that's the direction they're going in. I don't mind either way. I'm just interested to see where this goes. Now, I'm not the biggest Natalya fan. I don't think she's trash by any means. I just never been the biggest fan of her, but I do think she brings something to the women's division. I think she brings I do think she brings something different to the women's division. Plus, we haven't seen her really be used in a meaningful way in a very long time. So I actually like this. It's something different. This is something I've been wanting WWE to do. Something different, something we haven't seen, experiment a little bit. So this is a cool experiment to see how this actually goes. Because this can go really good or really bad. It's going to go one of those two ways. I don't see this going no in between. It's either going to be a really good feud or a really boring feud. One or the other. So we'll see how this plays out, but I am interested. We end up getting a 6-man tag match between Division and Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee. I'm not gonna really discuss this match because I really don't care. The good guys win due to the help of Adam Pearce. I don't really care, but this is really Division are basically stuck in the vortex of the Rey Mysterio vortex, which is a bad thing because if you're typically stuck in because people love to talk about the other vortexes in WWE. If you're stuck in the Rey Mysterio vortex, that's simply a bad thing. The only person who really does well in the Rey Mysterio vortex is Dominic, and it only works because that's his son, so it makes sense. But anyone else who ever gets in the Rey Mysterio like feud for a short term, it never works out. It doesn't benefit them at all. Like this is just I just don't care. This Division, I'm over it. I'm done. I tried giving them a chance, but the only person WWE clearly only cares about in that group is Braun Breaker. They don't care about no one else. Austin Theory is just the pin guy, which I expected. Bronson Reed, I don't know how they fumbled him. He lost all momentum. I don't understand how you beat Roman Reigns and lose all momentum. Like, I don't understand. You have the perfect gimmick for him, the tribal thief gimmick. All they had to do was just continue him using that gimmick, have him continue to steal from other people on the roster. I don't understand why they didn't. I don't get it. They clearly only care about Braun Breaker and F. They might as well just break up the faction. I get the original plan with Seth Rollins in them, but at this point, just break up the entire faction because you only care about Braun Breaker. Just have Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman be a thing. Break up everyone else because you clearly don't care about the rest of them. You only care about Braun Breaker. He's the only person you really care about. He's the only one you put effort in booking. So it's like, what's the point of Braun Breaker being in that faction? It doesn't benefit Braun Breaker. If that's the only person you care about, it doesn't benefit the rest of them either. Like, yes, they get TV time, but I guess it's better than nothing because it's better than not getting any TV time. So I guess it's better than nothing, but I'm just over this Vision storyline. We get a segment between the tag team championship match that's going to happen at Saturday Night's main event between the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I enjoyed this segment. This segment was basically all of them declaring for the Royal Rumble and then eventually Liv Morgan saying that Rhea Ripley is going to betray Io Sky. Yeah, going to portray Io Sky like Rhea did Liv. And then eventually the Judgment Day attacked them. Raquel came out and they stand tall. I like what they're doing here. This could play out a lot of ways, if I'm being honest. Plus, there was a segment backstage where Liv Morgan ended up mentioning how she didn't trust Roxanne, how she didn't like her, but now they're close. I like what they're doing here. Now the only problem is they have done this many times with the Judgment Day where they tease something and then they don't follow it up. But hypothetically, if they do tease something, I do like what they're going with it, and this could go a lot of ways. You could easily have Raquel be the babyface, Liv Morgan potentially be the babyface, which I don't think she will. And I do think people are overrating her chances of being the Women's Royal Rumble winner. I think she has a good shot. I think people are overestimating how much of a chance she got, though. You could easily have Roxanne become a babyface. You could have Liv turn on Raquel, similar to what Finn Balor did to Damian Priest. Because when Damian Priest won the World Heavyweight Championship, Finn Balor eventually got jealous and Damian Priest got a little too arrogant, too cocky. That's kind of what they're doing with Raquel, having this new change of attitude if they actually pull the trigger on her becoming world champion, and then Liv can eventually get jealous. You can have Liv and Roxanne team up and betray Raquel. This could go a lot of ways. I like what they're doing here. I really do like what they're doing here. And I really wouldn't be shocked if Rhea Ripley or Io Sky win the Rumble as well, because I really don't know what they're doing with the women at WrestleMania. So I'm very interested to see how this unfolds. We finally get to the main event. Finn Balor versus CM Punk. I am not going to really discuss this that much. We all knew CM Punk was going to win this match. It was a great match. This is something they need to do more with their world champions. And who knew if you had your world champions who are good at wrestling defend their championships, you may get something special. Who knew? But this was a great match. We knew CM Punk was going to retain. Finn Balor was playing more of a babyface role due to him being in his hometown. He ended up getting his old interesting music back. Look, if they end up actually giving him a singles run, which I highly doubt, I just don't believe in it because You Finn Balor fanboys been doing this every year where you think he's getting this major push for whatever reason. Some of you wrestling fans and your fan bases, I don't understand the dedication. Sometimes y'all need to realize to just give up. Like sometimes it's okay to just give up and recognize when your favorite wrestler is who they are. Like it is what it is. I don't. Maybe he may one day be a single star again, but I don't see him being a world champion. Maybe a mid card, fine. World champion, I think you guys need to let that go. But who knows? You guys, for whatever reason, can't let go of 2016. I don't understand it. But nonetheless, this was a great match. CM Punk retains. What's next for Punk? I honestly don't know. It's really just whoever wins the Rumble or Elimination Chamber for him. So overall show, this was a good show. I enjoyed it. There's not really many. I really don't have nothing to really complain about here. But you guys let me know your overall thoughts, opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. But yeah, that's it.